yeah, that sound you hear is the sound of Omaha calling. The Tennessee Volunteers are College World Series bound for the third time in 4 years. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. A resounding win tonight. So much to talk about. This team, man, just comes out. They got down 1-0, had the error early. Christian Moore come out like a man possessed tonight. So many of these guys come out tonight. They weren't coming in to lose tonight. They just weren't. And the first thing I'll give hats off to Evansville. Heck of a team. Made a heck of a run in this tournament by winning the Greenville Regional. Heck of an effort by them yesterday. And, their effort to come back and beat Tennessee after being down 4-0. I think a lot of it was their pitching. It caught up with them. I mean, they did not. Their bullpen overachieved yesterday. But, a good hitting team. Got to give credit to Tennessee staff. They were on tonight. They were located. How about Xander Sechrist and the effort he gave tonight? That was what a lot of people were expecting out of Drew Beam yesterday and did not get that. But Xander Sechrist right now, I would have a hard time going against Causey, but Causey doesn't start. As far as their starters, he's pitching the best by far. There's no doubt about it. Let's get in some comments here. We got 18 in here. Let's get this thing up to 100 tonight. Let's, if you haven't already and you're in here, share the thing out. Make sure you like it, get it out there to people. Man, I keep going trying to get 100. Cannot get to 100, but make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. On a Super Sunday, Super Chats are available. Always appreciative of those. And, speaking of Big John Hill, thank you, John. Says, let's go Big Orange. Thank you so much for your generosity. Always being in here, support the channel. Papa J, always appreciative of you. Yeah, just a big night, man. A big night for Tennessee. A lot of people you saw freaking out after yesterday. It's easy for those feelings to come in. I get it. I had them too, but I did still feel pretty confident that this team would take care of business today. I just thought it lined up too well for them as far as the pitching. When I saw they were throwing the lefty starter again, I felt pretty good about it because Tennessee has lit up left-handed pitching here recently, and tonight was no different either. Cannot say enough for it. So let me get to some comments here, and then I'll kind of get into breaking the game down. So we got Will Murley. What's up, Will? So we hit some bombs tonight, but the ball doesn't get on the park like that. At Omaha, do you think we get enough timely hitting, enough pitching to win it? 11 left on base yesterday scares me. Let's see tonight. Let's see what the left on base was tonight. It was only 7 tonight. So, and that park is going to, it's a very good question. That park is going to play much different. It is a much bigger park. We've seen it 2 out of the last 3 years when Tennessee's gotten there that you didn't see the ball flying out like it does in Lindsey Nelson. So they are going to have to adjust their game for sure. This team, I don't know if I would say lives and dies by the home run, but man, it's they didn't live and die by it yesterday because they scored 8 runs. Their pitching got them beat yesterday. But we'll see. It's a very good question. I think you got to be able to do a little bit of small ball. You got to be able to, like tonight, what I liked earlier on Blake Burke, they pulled the lefty, brought in the righty against him, and Burke just reached out, poked it right down that third base line. It was what a great hit by him on that. They're going to have to do those types of things in Omaha. There's no doubt about it. But there's been numerous games where this team has left a lot of guys on the base. So it is a concern. And I do think they have enough pitching. Now, was I concerned yesterday after seeing the pitching? Yet Drew Beam I'm concerned about. I'm not going to lie. He's not been good past the third inning in a few weeks now. But I don't know. I'm not that concerned about the rest of the guys. Snead bounced back and looked good today. Lloyd looked good. Cannell come in, got his one out, got his ovation he deserved. Pretty cool to see that. But with Stamos, I am worried about Stamos in that opener role. I'm almost with him about at an inning and then turn it over to Causey. Uh, but when you like the other night when he struck out the side, you have to go back to him the second inning. At that point, I don't think there's any doubt about it. It's just with Stamos, does he get away with not giving up that kind of big pitch? I apologize. I'm a little heavy-eyed fighting through this one, so I may yawn a little bit. I hope not. But Ronnie Freeman, what's up, Ronnie Freeman? Go Vols Omaha bound. That is how you bounce back. Absolutely. He bounced back in emphatic fashion to 12-1 again today. And, a couple things. They hit the ball extremely well. And then the pitching. What an effort from Sechrist, man. He, and the guy did get some crap earlier on the season. I think even at some points I was like, I don't know about him as the starter, how they go with that. But, man, hats off to him. Just the improvement, them sticking with him, how much better he's gotten as years went along. As tonight, he went 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run, which is unearned, 6 strikeouts on that through 102 pitches, 70 strikes to 32 balls. That's a very efficient night, and no walks. No walks. He did go full count, I know, at least once. His ERA is now down to 2.97. It's kept going down and kept going down. And then, he's got it under 3 now. That tells you how well he has been pitching here recently. Just a heck of a job by him, and cannot stress it enough. Yesterday was more the outlier, I think, as far as the pitching, because nobody had it yesterday but J.J. Garcia. Everybody else that come in, it just was not their day. Today, a little more. Let's hope we avoid those 11 o'clock games in Omaha for sure. Let's see, Papa J again. Yeah, appreciate you again, Papa J, as always. Thank you for your generosity. John Baxter said, when we get solid pitching, we're the best team in the country. When we get great pitching, we're unbeatable. It's very, very much agree on that one. This is an excellent hitting team. Again, they're going to have to adjust a little bit in Omaha because they're not. I just don't see the ball flying like it has been. Obviously not like it's going to in Knoxville. Let's see here. What else we got? Greg German, what's up, Greg? XL Omaha bound. The job is not finished. So a few things I put together tonight. Some of you've probably put it here as well. Tennessee basically has 3 revenge teams in their side. Number one, for those of you, I'm sure you're aware, but if you're not, Florida State. It's not so much Florida State. It's Link Jarrett, their coach. Who was he the coach of 2 years ago? Notre Dame, who come into Knoxville, finished that team off. You got to think, guys who were on that team, I would want to come in and beat Link Jarrett. I want to smoke his ass. I'm not going to sit here and even beat around the bush about it. I want Tennessee to smoke Link Jarrett and send him to the house this time. Virginia, North Carolina, that's the other 2 on Tennessee's side of the bracket. Well, 2021 College World Series. First time Tennessee's been back in years. Game 1 of the College World Series. Who do they face? Virginia. Virginia beats them. Of course, Texas did put them out, but Virginia puts Tennessee out, or put Tennessee in the loser's bracket 2 years ago. And then 2019, first time Tennessee been back to the NCAA tournament a while. First time under Tony Vitello. They get sent to the Chapel Hill Regional. Who puts them out of that one? North Carolina. North Carolina beat them both times in that one. So it's, I think Tennessee beat, who was it? Liberty twice. And then, North Carolina took care, played them tough, but in the end, North Carolina was just a better team, and it was at home at that point. So as far as the last 5 years, and especially all the years Tennessee's made the NCAA tournament under Tony Vitello, this there's a bit of history with these 3 teams. So we'll see, man. I mean, it's 3 tough teams, or it's 3. All 4 number 1 seeds on Tennessee's side made it, with North Carolina, Virginia, Florida State, and of course Tennessee. Trying to think what else right there. And of course, on the other side, you've already got Florida. How about Florida? People were saying they shouldn't even be in the tournament. And now they're heading to the College World Series again. They're waiting on, let's see, Georgia and North Carolina State tomorrow. The winner of that goes on. Last I looked, Texas A&M was getting beat by Oregon. Yep, they still are 7th inning, 8-5. Kentucky is up 2-0 on Oregon State right now in the bottom of the fourth. So Kentucky wins, they're in tonight. Man, A&M's going to have to get on it, or they're going to the F game tomorrow as well. The only thing is keeping this from being an all ACC SEC College World Series is A&M and Kentucky winning. They both win. It's all ACC SEC. Should be pretty interesting. Tennessee, of course, has got all ACC on their side. And then, of course, the way it works, this part will be double elimination. If Tennessee is able to come through it, then, they will get to, I say double elimination. It's double elimination up to, it's kind of like the SEC champion or the SEC tournament where they only had to beat Vanderbilt once to get to the tournament championship game. It'll be similar. If they don't lose any game, but then they get to that game that gets you to the championship series. If you lose it, you're out. So you don't necessarily have to lose 2 times to get put out. It just depends on when it happens. But up to that point, it will be, if they drop, say, the first game, then they will have another game before they're sent to the house. I mean, it was kind of like this weekend, too. You lose twice and you're done with. But so it's they've got a tough side. But, let's face the facts. You're going to play tough teams in Omaha. You're not going to get there and play a bunch of clowns. All right. You're not going to play a bunch of clowns anytime in the NCAA tournament. Baseball is just a different animal than, say, any other sport. Of course, basketball, there's some teams make it in basketball, and it's like, how'd they get in or what have you. But baseball, pretty much, you can't take anybody for granted. You just cannot on that. Let's see, get back to some comments. Ump had an ever-changing strike zone. Man, I'm telling you guys, I just don't know if I know what a strike is anymore. And maybe it's just the view that we're getting. But there's a lot of pitches that I see that I'm like, how is that not a strike? And I don't know. Again, maybe we don't have the straight-on view, and maybe it's the angle that we're looking at. But I don't know. Umpires are, if you seen the Clemson Florida game today, what a clown show that was from the umpires. They tossed, there was a little ruckus there. They tossed, Clemson's first baseman, I think it was. And then later on, I think a Clemson guy hit a go-ahead bomb, spiked the bat, got tossed. Their coaches got tossed. This stuff, it's ridiculous. The SEC, for them to be the best conference in the country and everything, you've got to go out and hire full-time officials. We don't need a guy who's out selling houses. And I don't mean this as any, if you're a real estate person, I don't mean this as a slap. I say it because there are actually officials who officiate. They're real estate agents through the week, and then they come umpire on the weekend. Or they may have another job that they do. I've heard of that specific job with numerous guys who ref football, at least. But if we're the SEC, we're going to talk about being the best in the country. We've got to get officials and get them trained. Now, I don't know where those officials were from. I don't know what conference they were from. But we got to be better than this. Maybe it's an NCAA thing. Whatever crap the NCAA comes up with, you got to be better with officiating. What's up, Laura Hubbard? Laura said she's going to go get the chicken earlier on and sacrifice it. So hopefully it didn't come down to that one, Laura. But if you did, then, God bless you for coming through for the guys tonight. But, now the real stuff starts. But for tonight, enjoy it. Absolutely. 3 times in 4 years. 3 times in 4 years for Tony Vitello and this team. I'm really excited. I've got an idea in mind. Of course, I decided for some reason to take on 2 weeks of summer school right now. And I can assure you, after this coming week of it, Thursday when we're done, old Frank Rock is retiring from summer school. Not school in general, but Frank Rock will never do summer school again. I can tell you that now. But after that, I really want to put something together about Tennessee baseball and just looking at the years of the coaches they've had and what they've done and what Tony Vitello has done for this program. I think it would make for a really interesting set of videos, some stuff that, people can look back on and hopefully really appreciate what he's doing. Of course, we get that smoke out there today. Again, random poster saying he's going to Texas. I can tell you right now, I don't know for sure. Tony Vitello is not going to Texas. He's not leaving Tennessee. He is not going to leave Tennessee. Tennessee's going to pay him what they need for him to stay. He's 2 years away from his contract expiring. I would imagine probably not long after the season's over, you're going to hear Danny White making the announcement that Tony Vitello has signed an extension. There's no absolute way that he's getting away. I don't give a damn what writers, for some of these writers of Tennessee sports, sit and tell you about LSU and Texas being the best jobs in the country. Give me a break. All right. If we're going on, I said it last night, if we're going on history, all right. So you're telling me Cal State, Fullerton, Pepperdine, Long Beach State, Wichita State, Coastal Carolina, all great programs, all great baseball programs. But are you going to sit here, and this is not a slap in the face to them, you're going to tell me those are better jobs based on their history? Nothing to get. LSU and Texas are great jobs. They are. Why would you want to leave Tennessee? You've had them in the College World Series 3 out of 4 years. You're the only team in the country 4 years in a row to go to the Super Regionals. They can do what they need to in Knoxville. They're getting ready to build even more onto the stadium. They're going to modernize it even more. What else do they need? It infuriates me that a writer for Tennessee would actually basically say you couldn't blame him for leaving for LSU and Texas based on the job we're doing. That's what kills me with some of it. I saw some of the VolQuest guys saying, why would he leave on it? So I appreciate them saying what needs to be said on that. Yeah, Tennessee right now, if you're Tony Vitello, why would you leave? They offer him $10 million a year or something. Tennessee won't offer it, which that's ungodly money. It's not going to get offered for college baseball. But you guys get where I'm going with that. We're at 92 right now. 8 more to 100. Let's go. 93, 7 more. Let's get it out there. But just a big night for Tennessee baseball, man. Big night. Hats off to the crowd. Hats off to the players. They were in it from start to finish. And I really think we saw guys like Christian Moore come out a man possessed tonight. Xander Sechrist was fired up tonight. That guys feed off of that. And, it cannot stress that enough how much it means. I saw a post today. I think it was Jared Dickey's mom. Somebody had shared, but Jared Dickey had said, hey, if you're a Vol fan, can get out there and not be loud and proud. Said, you don't know how much we feed off of your energy. And, that's just big. We're at 96. We're getting close. 4 more. Let's go. Let's get it out there. But, if you're coming in, if you're new to the channel, Hatton, glad to have you here. I hope you enjoyed the content. This is the place for Tennessee baseball. This is the place that covers it and details it the most out of anybody else out there. I'm not saying it's the best or none of that on other stuff, but as far as basketball, baseball, and then when we get into Lady Vols basketball this year, this is the place. Football, we've got some work to do for football. It's going to happen, though, eventually. But this is definitely the place for Tennessee baseball right now. Again, going back, cannot stress it enough how much being amped up, being fired up means. Let's get back in some comments here. We're at 98. We're close. I may have to take a camera shot here. Well, if we hit 100, it's kind of like you're up 12 to 1 to 8. You don't know if we're there yet, but Boosted 931, what's up, man? How about them Vols? Bay, Omaha bound. Aaron Height, good to see you in here. I couldn't relax until the 8th. I understand it. Totally get it. It's always one of those things, especially got to see it. Got to see it at the end. Been responding to losses like that all season long. Yep. I agree with you. What was it? Only one time they had lost back to back all year, and that was against Alabama. And we're up to 99. One more to go. Come on, let's do it. Let's get this thing to 100. Um, yeah, what that Alabama one, and I still think this is one to this day that Tony Vitello looks back on and wishes he would have pulled Snead earlier. Would it have made a difference? I mean, I don't know, but Snead was getting hit pretty hard that game, and it come back to get him. So, I don't know, but that was the only time back to back loss this year, and they responded. They responded to loss, and it was something Tony Vitello talked about yesterday as well, that they've been into these rubber matches all year. They played a lot of them to start conference play, where they got to Sunday or what. There we go, baby. 102. Let's take a picture. Hopefully my mug doesn't break the camera there. All right. Woo! We're finally there. Very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you for sharing it out. Thank you for tuning in. Big night for Tennessee baseball once again. All you guys that's been here the whole time this year cannot stress it enough how appreciated you are to the channel. Just coming in, shooting the crap, hanging out, and stuff like that. It's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool like that. But yeah, JL, totally agree with you, man. Been responding all year long. They have answered the bell every time. Talked about this a little bit earlier, and it's still a very good question. Are we worried about relying on home runs in Omaha? I think it's I think we know going in that I don't know that you can. It's an excellent question because we've seen it too the past 3 years when Tennessee's been there. I can't remember how many home runs they've hit in those appearances, but it's not been much. It's been maybe a couple. I was thinking possibly, did Inslee hit one last year? Maybe I may be wrong on that one, but yeah, I think if they're relying on home runs in Omaha, that could be a recipe for disaster. But they're going to play their game for sure. They're going to play their game that they play, but just some timely hitting coming through. Driving the ball the other way on occasion. Seeing the ball well. I thought they saw the ball well tonight. Looking back to, they only left 7 on base, only 6 strikeouts, but they walked 6 times tonight as well. 7 home runs, of course, they should have had a stolen base, and you can't blame the guy. Inslee stole it, great, and then the wet turf caused him to slide across it. Turf is funny. I've told some of you this one before. Turf could go 2 ways. One year I was coaching, before I moved to South Carolina, I was coaching in Tennessee. I was first base coach one night we were playing, and one of our guys went to dive back in on a pickoff to first. We were on it as far as getting back on time. The only problem was when he hit the turf on it, he came up about a good foot short, just stopped. And luckily, we were in a position we could laugh about it because I just started laughing immediately. The kid, everybody else did. We were doing pretty well at that point. But, you can also see it with the turf, like tonight with Inslee. Great slide, great jump. Everything was great. The only problem was he took off pretty early, and he just kept on going. There was nothing he could do about it. He tried to catch himself, and he just went on across it. So I think they're going to have to steal some bases in Omaha. They're base running, which I think has been really good this week. They're going to have to run the base as well. I do have a concern on defense. We've started seeing a little bit of carelessness in the field. That does concern me, and it's from I'll say more. Had the transfer tonight that I kind of thought he had the ball on it, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It was close. It was close enough, but he did make up for it later. He played a heck of a game tonight. Other than that, the other error. Who was? Some of you guys can probably tell me on that one because I actually come in a little bit late. Curly had an error. Okay, I missed that one. I did not see what happened. I just knew they had an error and an unearned run in the first inning. Let's see what else we got here. Old PD's revenge or Ped's revenge, whichever. Oma Vols, absolutely. They are Omaha Vol bound. Just got a text from old PED's Revenge. Appreciate that. Man, Omaha Vols do not know when. I think the College World Series starts on Friday. So I'm not sure if we know how that's going to be set up or not. Let me look up the bracket for it, see if they've possibly got, if it's like set up specifically or not. No, it doesn't appear. It just says June 14th. Is June 14th to like the 22nd, I believe it says here on it. So they could play either Friday or Saturday, possibly, and it could be anywhere from an early game up to the evening game on that as well. So we'll probably know something. I don't know if we'll know something tomorrow for it to be Tuesday, because there'll definitely be the NC State Georgia game tomorrow. And then right now, the way Texas A&M came back 13-8. At this point, they were down 8-3, so they got hot. And the thing with A&M too, they lost their best player yesterday for the year, which sucks, man. No matter, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if it's the worst enemy. I don't like to see players for any team get hurt. That just stinks, man. And but A&M 13-8, Kentucky, Oregon State tied at 2 now, bottom of the fourth inning. So we'll see how those games go tonight. It could possibly just be down to North Carolina State and Georgia tomorrow in the if game for that. Ronnie Freeman, you're right. He's not worried. I'm not that worried about it for Omaha. I really felt tonight, and I could be wrong on this. I felt tonight. Some of you said it yesterday in here as well. Thought if they got by tonight, they're good. And they've got to bring the same energy. I mean, I think you're going to stay the same with Stamos, Causey, and I really thought Causey might be available tonight, but I saw something where Vitello had apparently said in the pregame he was not available. So obviously they didn't need him. Thank goodness everything went according to plan. So that means you're set up for next week, because they will play. If they play Friday, they'll be off Saturday. They'll play Sunday. Normally it's kind of skip a day. Now if they get to that championship series, which is normally 2 out of 3, it'll be 3 days in a row on it. But I do like this team's chances. I feel like this team's a team of destiny this year. I feel like, there was those thoughts of 2022 yesterday coming back, but I don't know. I still looked at it like I feel like this team, they got punched in the mouth, but man, they come back today with the knockout blow. And, they left no doubt about it. And I thought the big key to this game yesterday, where it got away, was in the fourth inning. Today, it was in a bind. Let's make no mistake about it. Evansville got the bases loaded, and Tennessee got out of that one. That was huge. When they got out of that inning with no runs, they got out unscathed. That was the game changer right there. That fourth inning was once again the game changer, except in a good way. Sechrist, they got a couple unfortunate breaks in the inning. Sechrist, he hung in there. He was fired up too. Loved it. But they got out of the inning, come in, and then that's where they broke it open with the home runs on it. And what they get 4 runs in that inning, pushed it out to 9-1. And Cal Stark had that 3-run bomb later on that was really the icing on the cake. So, once again, the fourth inning was a big game changer today in a good way, as that really, I think, was the backbreaker for Evansville. Part of me wonders, when they got out of that, it did not get any runs. Tennessee come in and they hit a home run early in that inning. I'm trying to think who it was. Was it Bargo? I think it was again. And then it just went from there. So it was, I think you had Moore hit another home run. You had Burke got on base, and then Billy Amick crushed that one to center field that cleared the wall. That was a backbreaker for Evansville, and I think that was at that point. Their pitching was the guys they were using. I mean, they were exhausted today, and I'll give those guys credit. They pitched their asses off yesterday, that bullpen did. All of them that come in had high ERAs, and they come in and got the job done. I mean, you got to give them credit. But when it come down to it, the deeper team won this tournament, and the better team. Nothing against Evansville. Tennessee's a better team, and really too, all the pressure I thought was on Tennessee tonight because already yesterday there was the stat a number 4 seed against the overall one was like 0-30. After yesterday they were 1-30. Well, after today they're 1-31. It was on Tennessee to be the laughing stock that Evansville put them out. They weren't having it though. Devin Arnold, what's up, man? Way to bounce back tonight. Xander showed out. Absolutely, he did. What an effort from him. What an effort, especially on when yesterday the pitching was, I'm just calling it like it is. It was bad yesterday. It was one of the worst outings of the year. You go back to Georgia, that first game, of course, that was Causey 2 games in a row was really bad. But other than that, great. But as a collective unit yesterday, other than J.J. Garcia, nobody had it yesterday. And for Sechrist to bounce back today, had the one unearned run, didn't phase him. He was fired up today. Got into that 4th inning. Things got a little testy. Again, he pitched his way out of it. It was huge. And then, his location was good all day. He was not putting it in the zone like they had done the past couple of days. And that's key. You get into a team against Evansville and you're throwing them meatballs, basically. They're going to make you pay like they did yesterday. Let's see. Tim Dube says Xander Sechrist is the man. Big time performance tonight. Congratulations to the guys for coming up like true champions. They are. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love that they were fired up tonight. It was different. And maybe, that's the difference in a night game versus an 11 o'clock day game. But, at the same time, both teams still have to play it. So, it is kind of what it is right there. But they did bring it tonight. The rain delay did not bother them. Again, it was set up good. When I saw the pitcher going for them tonight that was starting, I was kind of licking my chops on that one, thinking, yeah. And they got him out quick, but it didn't matter on that. We're about 32 minutes in here. Got 96, man. We've had an awesome crowd tonight. Biggest crowd in House of Orange live show history tonight. That's pretty cool. Hope we will keep this thing rolling into Omaha as well. But, if you're in here, make sure you hit that like button. If, share this thing out. If you're in here and you've checked it out, or any other Vol fans that are still awake right now, still fired up, and maybe don't have to go to work tomorrow or something, or if you're any teachers out for summer right now, share this thing out, send it out to them. That's how word travels with this channel. It's you guys getting it out there, sharing the content out. And, like I've always said, thank you so much for the positive feedback on this channel. It's been really cool to see. And like I said, I know football's king in Knoxville. Not even scratched the surface with football talk on here. Yeah, I know they had a big visit weekend. This weekend seemed to make a move with some targets, but I don't know. I'm pretty focused on baseball right now. I'll hit football when summer comes around. It goes on. We're going baseball right now with it. But and also too on a Super Sunday, there's also the super chat option if you want to say thanks and drop a super chat in there. It's always appreciated as well. Super chats are invested back into the channel just to try to grow it, make it better, provide more content, so that this is the best place to come for baseball, basketball, and so forth. Because getting ready to tackle a bit of baseball recruiting here soon. These baseball recruiting sites are tough, man, because they are very expensive. Not that I care to pay it, but it's just they are. There's a reason I think a lot of places don't cover baseball. Perfect Game, and there's another one I can't remember the name of it, are pretty good ones. But definitely go try to bring you some baseball recruiting so we can talk about the classes, talk about who's coming in, who may potentially be signed, but may not make it to campus because of the MLB draft. Of course, I'll keep you updated on the transfer portal. They did have 3 visitors this weekend. Sear from Miami, Keelan from Louisville, and Lepore from Wichita State. All in either 25 or 26, all considered top 100 prospects in their respective class. So I would not be surprised to see him get at least a commitment out of that with portal guys, and it a big weekend like it was with that. We may have heard something today, possibly, had it not been for the series get extended today. So I would not be surprised to hear something tomorrow coming out of that. I mean, you got to think the visits went well, but are these guys, are they going to take multiple visits, or are they content to shut it down right now? You never know, because they were supposed to hosted Cody Bowker from Georgetown, who apparently visited Vanderbilt and committed to them, did not make it to Knoxville. So Bowker's content getting smoked for at least next year, if not a couple years after that, when the Vols play the old Commodores, especially the Vandy boys. I know they'll come to Knoxville next, or they should, depending on how the rotation. I don't know how things will change with the SEC schedule, though, but I know I think Alabama and Vanderbilt are going to be Tennessee's permanent opponents and everything, if I'm not mistaken, or definitely baseball for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Awesome crowd tonight. I appreciate you guys. Most of those homers are out in any part. There is a lot of them. I wanted to get to that as well. A lot of these home runs, especially the ones tonight, they were all no-doubters for the most part. Now, Bargo's second one might have been a wall ball possibly, but it had been close. I mean, that was the opposite field shot. That was good. And hats off to him, man. How about that DH spot? Bargo in there. I think a lot of us thought Cannon Peebles was choice. They went Dalton Bargo. He made Tony Vitello look pretty good tonight with 2 home runs. And that's some of the best production we've had out of that DH spot in a bit. So, hats off to him. And I was still a pretty big advocate yesterday. I would have hit Bargo in the ninth over Cal Stark. But, it didn't end up mattering in the grand scheme of things as it worked out today. But excellent job by him. And, I totally agree with this one, JL. A lot of those home runs they're hitting in Knoxville are no doubters. So if they're hitting those same balls in Omaha, I think we'll be all right on that one. I'll definitely try to get into probably Tuesday is what I'm going to go for on it. Probably get in Tuesday previewing Tennessee side of the bracket in Omaha, looking at Florida State, North Carolina, and Virginia, because they'll at least play. We know for sure they'll play Florida State, and then depending on what happens, they'll play. If they beat Florida State, they'll play the winner of North Carolina and Virginia. If they lose to Florida State, they'll play the loser of that game next week. And so that they'll play Florida State either on Friday or Saturday, and then their second game will be either Sunday or Monday, just depending on what it is. So let's see what else we got here. Xander needs a statue next to Evan Russell. Let's do it. Let's get him one up there. What a job by him, man. What a job by Xander Sechrist. Again, a guy earlier in the year, I don't know if a lot of people really wanted to see him as that third starter. I think people wanted to see it, but he was a little slow out of the gate. But how many of the pitchers were not slow out of the gate this year? I mean, we were talking on here numerous times on, just through live shows or chats or what have you, or just comments and videos about how a lot of these guys are not trustworthy. I mean, you saw earlier in the year just the trust they got in numerous guys. I know they come into the year, I really think, wanting Aaron Combs to be the closer, but Combs had a rough start to the year. His ERA was up over 5. Now it's down to like 2.5. I mean, look at Sechrist. His ERA was up over 4. It's under 3 now. Just how much better he's gotten as year has gone along. There's a part of me wonders now, he and Cannell, I wonder if velocity is not going to be something that hurts them in terms of draft, because you just don't in the majors anymore see guys that are not throwing basically low to mid 90s. It seems like it's all velocity stuff anymore. And, but I don't know. I mean, I still think there's a place for guys in the game who throw high 80s, can locate, can throw good breaking stuff. I mean, you look at 2 of your better pitchers, there's been a definitely of like the 90s and stuff, Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. I don't know if either guy ever hardly hit 90, but, guys throwing mid 90s and up towards 100 was really not common for a long time. Now it's common for guys not to throw up in that range. So, I still think there's a spot in the game, even in the majors, for guys who can locate, even if they're throwing the high 80s. there's a place for them. Because I can tell you a lot of these launch angle guys and stuff, they're going to get made look silly from a dude who can do that. I'm telling you, not a fan of launch angle. Exit velo, I don't have a problem. I like exit velo. It's pretty interesting. Launch angle, how that's come in. I heard North Carolina State's coach talking today. They were interviewing him, talking about how much he's enjoying coaching still. And he talked about some of the analytics stuff. There's some good, there's some bad. But he said, used to, you didn't want to strike out at all. He said, now he basically echoed what I say. Now people think it's okay to strike out and then hit a home run or something. To me, it's not okay to strike out. But I don't know. The game's changed. It's changed a lot. I'm kind of on a tangent. Y'all know I go on tangents occasionally. So let's see here. Tim Bradley, what's up, man? Yeah, most of those homers are no doubters. Absolutely. Eric B. Jones, what's going on, man? What's up, Indy? Hell yeah. Tennessee had CWS. I knew it. Go big orange. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. John Baxter, the balls they were hitting tonight are homer. Yeah, they were crushed tonight. Boosted 931. Glad you started YouTube. You covering baseball also. I wonder if you meant basketball on that possibly, since we're talking baseball. Yep, I'm covering baseball for sure. Yep, basketball. There you go. I see where you correct. Yes. Yep. Did quite a bit of basketball this year, actually. Did men's up through, especially at the end of the year. Started going live for that. Did a lot of videos on that. Did a lot of portal stuff. And then started covering Lady Vols basketball. Lady Vols, that's still my first Lady Vols video, was still the highest viewed video in this channel's history. Over 10,000 views. Pretty wild on that. It was, I don't know. I had debated it. I had contemplated it. I had some people asking, and then there was something that fired me up. That's when the Outlaw, if you've heard of the Outlaw, that's when the Outlaw was born on that day, because I was coming out guns blazing just like the Outlaw. And I don't know if you can see it here or not. Funny thing, it's hidden. There's my Outlaw Josie Wells picture there in the background. I actually unhid it yesterday and they lost, so I put it back where it went, put Dirty Harry back up here in the corner on it. But yeah, this is spot on right here, Papa J. Man, so many players gone after we win the CWS. Said it again. My expectation, and I may be wrong on this, is 7 out of 8 fielders go. I'm still thinking Inslee gets drafted. I think Hunter Inslee, the way he's finished the year, I think he gets drafted. He just does a lot of things well. He's a solid baseball player. And I know I was hard on him earlier in the year with where he's at. He wasn't hitting, but here this last couple months of the season, he's been outstanding. Let's make no doubt about it. And that was big for this team too, because I felt they were you had Tears, you had Dreiling doing their thing. They really needed that third outfielder, and it was kind of a rotation of guys for a bit. But then, Tony's trusted in Inslee. Says he brings it. He says that dude is fired up a lot. And, just some of these guys who struggled earlier in the year and then where they're at the end of the year has been big. I'm thinking Inslee gets drafted. They've talked about Cal Start. I think Cal Start gets drafted. I don't know if Cal has a COVID year available or not where he could come back, but I'm thinking he gets drafted. A guy that's that good of an actual catcher. And he has to pop. Let's make no mistake about it. He can hit the long ball. He's hitting 50 points higher this year than he did last year. So he's made strides with the bat. I got to think 7 out of 8 guys are drafted. Of course, Curley's a freshman. He'll be back. Dreiling is a sophomore, but his age, it's like Blade Tidwell a couple years ago. It's going to enable Dreiling to be drafted. I think he'll at least be sometime in the first 5 rounds, probably first 3, if I had to guess on it. Of course, he does have leverage with his signing bonus. When you have eligibility, you have that leverage with it. Tears is going to be the same. I think Tears, I'm going to say Tears is first 10 rounds, just because we saw where Jared Dickey went last year. And I thought Jared Dickey was a heck of a hitter for Tennessee. So I'm going to say Tears first 10 rounds. Inslee, it's only 20 rounds, so I see him going. These are guesses on my part. It's educated guesses just based on where guys have gone similar before. I see Inslee somewhere in that maybe 15 to 20 range, possibly higher. possibly down around the 10th round or so, especially if a team, depending on where they at, if they go under slot somewhere or something, where they might be able to get him a little under slot. I mean, I don't know, but he'll still have leverage with his bonus as well because he has eligibility left after this year. Of course, Burt, Moore, Amick, all those guys are going to be going early. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I don't know how many will go first round. You never know with how that goes. And a lot of that depends on teams, who they like, who's available. And then, I look at the Braves' philosophy a lot. The Braves are a little different in how they draft and stuff because they're always going pitcher heavy pretty much. But the Braves, a lot of times, may draft a guy. Let's say they're going to pick in the 20s this year. They may pick a guy who is considered like a second-round talent. All right, they can sign him under what his slot is in that situation, and then that gives them more room later in the draft to where they can kind of go over slot, if that makes any sense with it. It's a whole thing with the major league draft is so much different than NFL and NBA for sure. Now, obviously, there's more rounds, but it's just with that slot and the pool and all that stuff, it's just a different animal on it. But then pitching staff, Stamos out of eligibility. Beam's going to go, I'm going to say Beam first 3 rounds. I don't think Beam's a first-round pitcher, to be honest, unless the team goes under slot, which is possible with it. I think Causey goes. I think Causey gets drafted. I really do. I may be wrong, and maybe he's back next year, but I see Causey get drafted. He's been too good against top-notch competition to not get drafted, in my opinion. Sechrist is gone. I'd love to see him pitch his way up into getting drafted. We know Cannell's gone. I think Aaron Combs is going to be gone. I think Aaron Combs will get drafted and be gone. Aaron Combs will have eligibility left over. But, again, it's going to be one of those things where he's going to have leverage with his signing bonus. If he were to come back next year and his draft position does not change, he has no leverage without eligibility. They'll sign him to a very low signing bonus. So you kind of got to strike while the iron's hot sometimes on it. That's why we've not seen any of the guys drafted the last few years come back because, I mean, they've been drafted later, but all because of bonuses. I'm trying to think. Snead will be back. He's a sophomore. He's not age eligible. So Snead will be back. Loy's a freshman. Who's Marcus Phillips. Marcus Phillips is one I'm curious about. He's because I'm thinking he's third year out, so that would qualify him to go. Would a team possibly take a chance on him and his stuff? Because they said his stuff. I mean, Tony Vitello, I've mentioned this numerous times in the preseason, said when he kind of polled his guys who was the guy they didn't want to face. If they had, I guess, who was the one guy they would not want to face? And they said it was Phillips. Said his stuff could be absolutely electric. So will a team take a chance on him? I don't know for sure that he's draft eligible, though. But I'm thinking he might be. I'm going to look at the roster here while I'm talking about it. But, beyond that, speaking of the roster, let me see if there's anybody I'm forgetting. Of course, Cannell is out of eligibility. Let's see here. Going through Christian Moore. Let's see. Who else we got here that I think will be drafted? Of course, I said Inslee. Cal Stark is a senior. I don't know that he has eligibility. Billy Amick, he is a junior, but he'll be drafted first round. If not first, he'll be drafted pretty high. Charlie Taylor's got eligibility left. Really? Redshirt junior? Huh. Interesting. Robin Villeneuve could get drafted. I can't see with the way he closed the year that a team would be. I mean, maybe there's potential there. Let's make no mistake. My hope with him is if he's back. Colby Backus, same thing. They're both draft eligible. I don't know that it happens, but maybe we can see that jump for both those guys. There's going to be a lot of opportunity there for guys. Stamos out of eligibility. Combs is a redshirt junior. I got to think he gets drafted. I'm looking at other guys. Brady Robertson, redshirt freshman. Austin Humley, redshirt freshman. Beam is a junior. He'll be drafted high enough gone. A.J. Russell will be back. That's barring that we don't get bad news at some point, which does concern me. I'm not going to lie. I am a little concerned on the A.J. Russell front. Schaefer scheduled to be back, true freshman out of Arizona. Cannell out eligibility. Loy's a freshman. Hunter High is a fielder though. Luke Payne, freshman out of Gallatin. Marcus Phillips is listed as a sophomore. Let me see what his age is. Here's I pull him up. Of course, you got Matthew Dallas. Marcus Phillips. I know they have birth dates on here normally. July 26, 2004. No, he won't be eligible. So that'll make him, 20 next month, July 26th. So, nope, Phillips will be back next year. Good. Very good. We need him back, and I'm curious to see what he does with another year. I was thinking he came from JUCO, which Iowa Western Community College, which doesn't necessarily mean he had to be there for 2 years. Matthew Dallas is a freshman. Braden Sharp. He's supposed to be a two-way guy out of Texas, can play the outfield and pitch. I think he redshirted. Of course, Sechrist will be out eligibility as well. So lots of opportunity there. Of course, they're going to have to hit the portal. The three guys they had in this weekend, I think they'll hit more because I got to think they want to build up that starting rotation. I still think there's a concern with A.J. Russell. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous. I'm hoping it's the case. They rest him, maybe a little tweak or something, and he's good to go next year. But I do have a fear based on how that arm would not heal of a deeper issue. Uno, what's up, Uno? Dalton Bargo looked real good. He did. He swung a good bat today. Himothy, what's up, Himothy? Feels good. Go Vols. Yep, 2 home runs from Bargo. That was the right DH fix, at least for tonight. Yeah, it worked out for tonight. Absolutely. Let's see. Kevin, what's up, man? Go Vols, different team from last night. We need this pitching in Omaha. Absolutely. It's Pitcher's Park. They're going to need all the pitching they can get. Miles Lane, what's going on, Miles? Go Big Orange. Eric Jones, FSU is a revenge for Tennessee. Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of people realize that it's not so much because of Florida State, it's because of their coach, Link Jarrett. And just him beating them, I mean, I don't know that he did anything outlandish or out of the ordinary or anything like that. I think he was a pretty respectful guy for the most part. Maybe there's something I'm not remembering. But, yeah, he's the guy that led that Notre Dame team in, beat them. I think you got to want to get revenge on him. Let's see. Oh, gosh, I'm way behind on some of these comments. So A&M, let's see what that score is now. A&M's up 15-9 in the bottom of the 8th. Looking good for them to lock it up tonight. Kentucky, Oregon State 2-2 in the 6th. Let's see what else we got here. John Baxter going to be a very interesting side. UNC and Virginia. Offensive reliant, should be a bunch of runs. North Carolina I'm wondering if they don't have that. How many they've had at least a couple walk-offs. I mean, their first game of the tournament, I can't remember. It was against, I think it was crud. I can't remember now. It was one of the New York teams, I think. But looked like they were beat. Was it Long Island? Does that sound right? I may be totally crazy on that one. And then they come back and hit that walk-off. And then they had to walk off against Virginia or West Virginia a couple nights ago. North Carolina, sometimes destiny is undefeated and things. But let's see what else we got here. Oregon couldn't throw a strike, then gave up a slant. Okay. All right. Yeah, because it changed quick. So proud of this team. Yeah, I was nervous going in today, just BVS, but boys came to play tonight, ended it early. Great to be a Tennessee Vol now. Let's win the whole damn thing. The BVS, man, how can it not kick in sometimes? I mean, hey, I've seen Twitter's a funny place, as you guys know if you use it. You got some that think it's a joke and all that. With just Tennessee sports over the years, I think, there's been so many letdowns and especially you see something like that, but it's a big win for this team to bounce back tonight because I got to think there was a lot of pressure. They didn't play like it. They played loose. They were fired up tonight. And, you got to give confidence. Got to give credit to them as well. Confident in this team in any series. Like I said, you got to get to that one spot in the semis and you'll get put out one loss. Yep. Yep, absolutely. You get to that, you can be undefeated, and then that one loss, if it's to get to that championship series, that's it. That's it's kind of a strange rule, I think, but it is what it is too. It is what it is. But yeah, for us to keep talking everything school, they've got to win a national championship in some sports down there. They really do. Jim Pan, he's still clapping. He's still doing the stroke. Uh, he's still doing the stroke. Jim might pull up in his what was it from Billy Madison? He pulled up in his was it a Firebird or something that he pulled up in and popped his collar and was blasting the stroke there. So Jim, rock on, man. Robert Duncan, no way Tony will leave the Vols. I can't see it. I don't see it. We're going to freak out. Anytime a big job comes up, people are going to freak out. Naturally, I get it. But you can't tell me there's a better situation in Tennessee in college baseball right now. I'm not talking about historical wise. I'm talking about in the present with what they're doing, how they're adding on that stadium, how this athletic department seems to be so invested in baseball. This fan base is invested in baseball. And Tony Vitello seems to love it down here. I don't see it. I cannot see it. And, I've seen an article sometime recently said probably the only way you see it is the major leagues come calling. And you never see that. Major leagues don't come calling college guys. I can't even remember it happening. And I'm not going to say it hasn't because I'm sure it has. But, it's not like the Lakers trying to go after Dan Hurley right now and lure him from UConn to the NBA, or when some of these college coaches have made the jump from college football to the NFL. You just don't see it in college baseball to major leagues. You just don't see it. And like I said, I can't remember a time that it's happened. Let's see. What's up, G White? Good to see you in here. Best batting lineup all season. Great pitching tonight equals blowout. Yeah, let's go good to bad and ugly tonight. This is pretty easy. I'll start bad and ugly. I don't even know if there's an ugly tonight. The bad, got to fix the fielding errors. 2 errors. I did not see the Curley error, so I don't know what happened on that one. I did see the Moore. I know what it happened. There's still part of me thought it was on the transfer. They should at least have the one out. But when I saw replay, it was kind of questionable. I get it. Other than that, I thought they did. I thought Moore played a great second base tonight. I thought he made a lot of really good plays tonight. I'm sure he was happy to be back out there. And again, it's just a difference in mindset if you're DHing versus out in the field. I don't know how many of you in here have ever sat in a high school dugout. Like, I was just in it last year. And a college, these college guys are not much older than these high school guys. The amount of bullshit that goes on in those dugouts, it's sometimes hilarious. And it's just, what's going on in this dugout too. It's just hilarious. And it's probably easy if you're over there DH and you're hanging out with these guys watching the game, getting caught up in it. And I remember from Christian Moore's freshman year, Tony Vitello would go on about Christian Moore getting on his nerves in the dugout. He was hollering so much and stuff. So who knows how he's acting? It's probably easy to lose focus over there like that because you're a little more loose in the dugout. You're not as focused. Where you're out in the field, you got to be dialed in pretty much every pitch on it. I think it has to make a difference. But the bad, they've got to clean up the defense. Too many errors this weekend. They'd had a pretty good regional. And I think that what was the last game, they had some errors. This weekend, the errors, thankfully, it didn't cost them. It cost them 1 run tonight. Thankfully, it did not cost them in that 4th inning because that was looking like it had the potential to be like yesterday where things started to unravel. They got out of it, and it ended up being a boost to them. But, if I look at the rest of it, 6 strikeouts tonight, I mean, Tears is man, his average, he's down to 329. He was up quite a bit higher. He's been a little bit of funk. Good to see him get a hit tonight, though. I mean, Dreiling 0 for 4. I didn't think he had that great of a series. He left 3 on base tonight. Yeah, he did okay this weekend, but definitely not what he did last weekend. Inslee 0 for 4 tonight. I mean, the guy had been playing lights out, hitting. The bottom order was good tonight, though. Tears 1 for 4. Curley 1 for 4. Had the home run that put them up, and they never looked back. Bargo with 2 home runs. Cal Stark with that home run tonight as well. And Stark walked. Tears did have a walk. Inslee walked. Dreiling walked. Moore had 2 walks. I mean, Moore 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, 2 home runs. Blake Burke 4 for 5. He had a heck of a series this weekend. He was really good this weekend. Of course, your pitching, Xander Secret 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run was not earned, 6 strikeouts, faced 27 batters, 102 pitches, 70 strikes. That's very efficient. 2.97 ERA. Hats off to him, man. That ERA was up over 4, and he's got it under 3. That's you compare it in, you contrast it with Drew Beam, who's now up to 4.68 ERA on the year. These guys are going opposite directions. Hopefully, Beam figures something out this week, and they maybe it's just as much as they figure out a quick hook on him, but something with him. A couple, last few weekends in that 4th inning is not jived for whatever reason. Snead come back. He bounced back good tonight. 1 1/3 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. Faced 5 batters, 22 pitches, 13 strikes. Pretty good there. Dylan Lloyd went a third. He got a fly out. 2.22 ERA for him. Cannell got his swan song, kind of good for him, man. 1/3, got a K, went out on a very high note. 4 pitches, 3 strikes. Then Marcus Phillips, 2/3. He got a fly out. He got a ground out, and then the fly out to end it. Threw 4 pitches, 3 strikes. Very efficient for him as well. So really, other than the errors, 7 left on base is not. It's obviously not 1, but that's a pretty good night. And then 7 strikeouts. It's not. Again, it's not great, but it's not. I don't think it's that bad either for this team, especially when we've seen numerous double-digit strikeout, and we've seen numerous double-digit left on base games. So I think those are pretty good. And this lineup, top to bottom, everybody made something happen. Just a really good night for Tennessee. Probably go work towards wrapping this thing up here. So Tony built Tennessee. Why would he want to leave? Absolutely he did. Absolutely he built Tennessee. And, surprising thing is the guy hired before him, Dave Serrano, was supposed to be a home run hire. And I still think the guy is a good baseball mind, a good coach. He'd won, where was it? Out on the West Coast. West Coast. Cannot remember which school that was right off the top of my head, but it was one of those West Coast schools I'd mentioned earlier. And then it looked like a no doubt hire, and it just did not work out. Still surprised on that one to this day. And then Tony Vitello comes in, and John Curry got it right. John Curry did get it right. Maybe he knew a little bit about hiring me. He hired Steve Forbes at Wake Forest. He sure as hell wasn't going to hire Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee. I can tell you that much. So even though it was going to be Greg Schiano, that would have still been better than Jeremy Pruitt. But thank goodness that one didn't happen either. But Schiano's, I don't know. He's a little better coach than he gets credit for, I think, a lot of times. Rocky Top Rowdy, what's up? Good seeing you. So proud of this team. Go Big Orange. Ronnie Freeman, congrats on 100. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Hit that. Gosh, that was almost 40 minutes ago. Wow. I'm way behind on the comments here. Tim Bradley, heck yes. Century Mark, TK, Go Big Orange. Jeanette Anderson, how about our DH night? Absolutely. How about Dalton Bargo tonight stepping up with that? Good night for him, man. And that position needed it in a bad way. Robert Duncan said, I don't understand why people like John Anderson is a sports writer for the Vols. He has never had any good to say about the Vols. Thanks, Frank. I don't really know. Adam, I kind of see his style a little bit. I don't know if he's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to get at with his style. And, I don't know. I don't really like nor not dislike his style, either one. I think newspaper writer's a little bit different from website writer. My kind of critique earlier was some website guys, and it's a couple in particular that, always when LSU's come up, they say, well, why wouldn't he go take that job? And now with Texas saying the same. I think that's ridiculous. And it's, I will say I've seen some of the VolQuest guys say, why would he leave Tennessee based on what he's built. So you can kind of narrow it down where it is. But I don't know. Adams has his style. He is what he is. He's trying to get clicks a lot and stuff too. I don't know if he believes half the stuff he writes sometimes, but when nearly every home run we're hitting 400 plus, that's going to go out in Omaha as well. Ain't no park going to hold that. Some of those bombs, I mean, they're hitting over the mezzanine and over the wall and center. Absolutely. They're going out in Omaha as well. Wow, I had not seen it. Florida Clemson game had 34 strikeouts. My goodness. I gotta click on the box score here while I've got that up. Let's see. I know Caglione was pitching. That one got pretty iffy today. Let's see what they had. Good Lord, they did. See, Florida struck out 20 times and Clemson 14. My gosh. One of Clemson's relievers, Austin Gordon, 5 innings, 10 strikeouts. Only gave up 2 hits or 2 runs. What's the box score look like on that one? They Clemson scored 3 in the 9th to tie it up. Okay, so then in the 13th, Clemson got a run, and then Florida battled back with 2. I would have been interested to see what the handshake line was. I don't think those two teams were real fond of each other. Holy crap, those strikeouts, 34 strikeouts. That's insane. What Caglione, 5 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned, 6 strikeouts. I mean, that's about the norm for him. I think his ERA normally runs up in the 4s. He gets a lot more credit than he deserves. He's an okay pitcher, but I mean, he's a phenomenal hitter. He's a decent pitcher. Don't get me wrong, decent. Wow, 34 strikeouts, man. That makes me feel a little better about the Vols sometimes. Now, Friday. Okay, I had not seen this. So Tennessee scheduled Friday against Florida State. Okay, so be interested to see, are they the early game or are they the night cap that night? I would almost bet they're the nightcap, but I don't know that for sure. Talked about that. Yeah, I'm just getting back to some of the comments here. I'm about 40 minutes behind on some, but yeah, that 4th inning was huge. It was huge in that shutdown. Need to sign more athletes named Dalton. I mean, there's just something about a guy named Dalton for sure. It goes all the way back to Roadhouse. I mean, the original Roadhouse. I actually watched the new Roadhouse. I mean, it was okay, but it's not the original by any means. But yeah, something about a guy named Dalton for sure. Let's see, David Emerson, what's up, man? Tennessee pitching. I don't think any pitcher's dominant, but this rotation's one. I would agree with that. I don't think you're going to see. I don't think anybody has. I mean, like 2 years ago, Dolander, I thought was pretty dominant. I mean, at times Chase Burns, we know when he was here, could be dominant. Those type guys, I don't think they have, but they do have guys who can be efficient and be solid. But I agree with that. I mean, I think Causey's probably your closest thing with his strikeout numbers. I mean, we had the guy in A.J. Russell who's out. I mean, we saw that, what little we saw against him just against Texas Tech. He was dominant. So there is that guy. Unfortunately, that guy was out hurt. But, yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. Frank Anderson is I don't know how it ends. I don't know what happens in Omaha. Obviously, none of us do. But, what they've done to this point with this pitching staff, if you think back to where we talked about it earlier in the year, where it ended up at the end of the year, what a phenomenal job that they've done with it as well. Let's say you're preaching facts about if I tell him Texas or any, like I said, why would he leave? Has everything. Yeah. I mean, that's my thing on it. I know if you're a guy probably from a mid-major perspective, a lesser Power 5 team, why would you, LSU, Texas comes calling, why not? Right now, when you're Tennessee, you've been to 4 straight super regionals. You're going to your 3rd College World Series in 4 years. You've made the NCAA tournament, 5 straight years now? Would have been 6 if not for baseball getting shut down in 2020. And who knows what that team could have done, because they had the ace in Crochet. They had a team that was going to make some noise that year. Who knows what would have happened with that team, as they were looking very good prior to the shutdown. But 5 straight years. What this stadium, they've added on to it. They set records this weekend for attendance. This was a stadium for years was a ghost town. Even on the weekends, I don't even know what kind of crowds they got on the weekends. I know they would say midweek games, you could about count the number of people. They're probably on about 2 hands. But Tony Vitello has indeed built this program back. He's built it up to where he's going to compete with every school for recruits. He's going to get his share of recruits. I mean, I think they're considered the number 1 ranked recruiting class in college baseball right now. So you're telling me, some of these that say that he needs to go to LSU or Texas to do that. That's a joke. That's a joke. And again, that's nothing against those programs. They are phenomenal programs. All right. Their history speaks for itself. In terms of today's college baseball, though, what job can you say is really better than Tennessee right now? Currently, the state that it's in. Now we're going to see next year. Again, the type of job that this staff can do, because they're losing a lot of guys. I'm still confident that they'll be able to rebuild, that they just reload. They don't rebuild down there. Why would you want to leave? The stadium's still getting another upgrade. They're going to keep adding on to that. They're giving Tony Vitello what he wants now. He's got all the support he needs. He doesn't need to go anywhere else for it. Let's see here. What else we got here? Eric Jones, come on, people. Let's bang that like button. Yeah, I'm going to start wrapping. God, we're at 11:30. I got to get up early, too. It sucks, but I'm sure plenty of you guys do, too. So it's Ramos, what's up, man? Frank, you're the man. Let's go, Vols. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Johnny Majors says, Omaha, Big Papa, did the baseball transfer recruits make it in? You know any names? I do. Blake Sear from Miami, Gavin Keelan from Louisville, and Tommy Lepore, Michigan, or not Michigan State, Wichita State. So Blake Sear, more of a utility guy, can play the infield, can play the outfield. Keelan, more of a middle infielder. Lepore, definitely a pitcher. I think he did more starting than anything based on, I know he threw, when I saw it, 78 and a third innings this year. So looked to me like he's more of a starter than anything. So are they recruiting him as a starter? I mean, you're going to need starters. I got to think they're recruiting him with the intention of making him a starter. I don't know if these guys have, additional visits planned. I don't know how that works. You never know if these portal guys, sometimes they take a visit and they're done. Sometimes they'll do like Amick last year. I know he took 3 or 4 visits before he made his decision. So I don't know if these guys have additional visits planned, or if they see what they need to see this weekend and want to shut it down. I'm hoping that's the case, because like I said, I know Keelan and Sear are both 2025 guys. They're ranked top 100 in major league drafts. And then Lepore is 2026. He's top 100 guy as well. So, these are elite guys that they have on campus right now. Hopefully we'll get some news tomorrow that they have done their thing on that. I am kind of curious to see if Tony Vitello has had, they put any comments up from him tonight as well. Let me keep going through his comments on here. Oregon State does not have a hit through 6, really, huh? 3-2 Kentucky. Bottom night, A&M up 50-9. A&M's getting ready to punch their ticket to Omaha. So it'll basically be down to Kentucky wins tonight. It is. Hope that noise. Some videos playing here. Okay, so if Kentucky takes care of business, it is for sure an all SEC, ACC College World Series. I'm not sure if that's happened before or not. That's pretty fascinating to me that that's a possibility of happening for sure. Let's see what else I got here. Just trying to see. Trying to see, here's some post-game comments possibly. Let's see. Celtics up 2-0 now. Not surprised. I think Celtics take care of it. It looks like they beat Dallas tonight. Hopefully I didn't spoil it for anybody if you were watching later. I guess I should have prefaced that before, but let's see. Here's a few post-game comments. Vitale and Xander's moment coming back out in the seventh said, this is what I love it. Said he demanded to be back out there. Step one, saying it. Step two is doing it. He put himself in a position to do what he wanted, which is walk off the field. This is his home. You're damn right it is. You are damn right it is. This is Xander Secret's home. And pretty proud of that guy. Just the improvement he's made this year and where he's at, and especially going in that College World Series. I feel very confident if they get, barring if they don't go out in two, that we get to him. I feel pretty confident in whoever he goes against. Vitello said, congrats to our fans for sure. Cheering pickoffs, the loudest it's ever been in here. He said, and congrats to our players. They've worked so hard to be here. Xander Sechrist on the crowd's loud ovation. He said, one of the loudest crowds I've ever been a part of since I've been here. He said, Drew Gilbert walk off as one or two, but tonight was up there. Dalton Bargo, he said, I made the decision to come here for games like this to go home. He's from Omaha, from that area. Now it's time to win a natty. So cool for him to get to go home to play. Xander Secret said he took off his cleats, played some Clash of Clans and Subway Surfer, and just kind of chilled and waited for my next task. Maybe he'll show up here in the House of Orange chat. Supposedly his name popped up one night. I still wonder if that was he said he swore it was, but you know how it is. On how he's able to pitch so well today, he said, overall, just looking back at my previous outings, putting those together and comparing them, acknowledges going back and watching, lets him know how to improve, including throwing with more conviction. He definitely had the conviction tonight. That is a fact for sure right there. If Hurley takes the job, do the Vols go after any of the UConn players in the portal? I don't know, man. I think it's a good question, but I just don't know what kind of playing time that they have to offer at this point. I mean, when you've already signed, 4 from the portal? And or I guess it's 3. And I guess they signed 3. I don't know. Kind of who they Dubar. No, it's 4. Dubar, Milicic, Akpara, and Chaz Lanier. So I don't know that any significant guy's going to come to Tennessee, not, especially if they can't guarantee minutes. It's a very good question on that one. It'd be awesome if they would, but I would expect those 2 spots are probably more guys they may find somewhere in the summer. B Hobbs, what's up, B Hobbs? How about them Vols, baby? Omaha, here we come. Go Big Orange. Let's see. No earned runs tonight. Tony Vitello's a rock star in Knoxville. Yeah, absolutely. Why would he want to leave? Kentucky talked about takes the lead. Let's see. Caleb Stanley, Texas A&M, Omaha bound. Just need Kentucky and Georgia to win on it. Oh, so that game, let's see. Yep, A&M, it looks to be over. Now just, Kentucky wins. It's definitely all ACC, SEC, College World Series. Looks like Oregon State finally got a hit there as well. So I think I'm going to wrap this thing up. We're about an hour and 20 in, man. I appreciate you guys coming in here tonight. A new House of Orange record, over 100. May not seem like much compared to other channels, but to me, it's a pretty big deal. It's pretty cool. This thing's been around since January, and the fact we're already here, especially on baseball, that's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. But thank you guys. Thank you for your support. Thanks for always tuning in, for your any feedback or anything you provide as well. This thing's not possible without viewership. It's not possible without you guys sharing it out. So I really appreciate that. It's a Super Sunday. The Vols are Omaha bound, 3rd time in 4 years. We'll see it again next week. There'll be content, during the week. No live show tomorrow night. We'll take tomorrow night off from it. Definitely get some stuff going later in the week. If there's any portal updates tomorrow, I will release some content based on that. Any other stuff that needs to be released tomorrow, possibly I can hit that tomorrow afternoon later on. So, but I hope you guys have a great Monday, great rest of your evening. Sleep well tonight. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. It's a Super Sunday. The Vols are Omaha bound. Be safe, take care, and last but most certainly not least, go Vols.